These are the public access points in Texas right now, producing the biggest fish in the state, and the data backs it up. Between a record-setting trophy largemouth bass season on one Central Texas reservoir and a rebuilt pier on the Gulf Coast, this summer offers some of the best verified access to 13-pound-plus fish in recent Texas history. Let's break down exactly where and why. Start inland, because the numbers here are hard to ignore. Texas Parks and Wildlife's Toyota ShareLunker program just wrapped its 40th anniversary season, running January 1st through March 31, 2026. The result? 18 Legacy-class largemouth bass, that's 13 pounds or more, pulled from 10 different public lakes across the state. One reservoir dominated that list. Ivie produced 5 of those 18 fish, and that lake has now produced 63 Legacy-class bass since 2020. According to TPWD, Ivie was the top ShareLunker lake for the 6th straight year. Part of what makes that water so productive is genetics. TPWD data shows the bass population at Ivie carries roughly 75 to 80% Florida strain genetics, the result of decades of selective stocking. Add in a strong forage base of threadfin shad and gizzard shad, and you have the biological foundation for fish that can push past 13 pounds. If you're looking for the single most productive piece of public water in Texas for trophy largemouth right now, this is it. Access points on Ivie worth knowing: Elm Creek Marina and Concho Marina. Both are public access, both serve as official ShareLunker weigh stations, and both turned up Legacy-class fish this season. The season opened with a 13.75-pound bass, ShareLunker 684, caught by Charles Roberts on January. It closed with a 14.22-pound fish, ShareLunker 701, caught by Ted Taylor of Lucas at Ivie's Elm Creek Marina. For what it's worth, a significant number of the verified Legacy class catches this season came from anglers running forward-facing sonar, LiveScope in particular, which has become the dominant technique for locating suspended trophy bass in open water. Natalie Goldstrom, TPWD's ShareLunker program coordinator, put it this way: reaching our 40th year with another unforgettable ShareLunker season shows just how strong bass fishing is across Texas right now. And Ivie wasn't just productive, it was historic this season. Angler Lawrence Lee became the first person on record to land 2 Legacy-class fish in a single day, and 3 in 1 year, all from that lake. If Ivie isn't within range, the other reservoirs worth targeting for trophy largemouth are Lake Fork, Toledo Bend, and Sam Rayburn, all public water, all with a track record of producing Legacy-class fish over the years. Lake Fork in particular carries serious historical weight. It's home to the Texas state record largemouth, an 18.18-pound fish caught back in 1992, which still stands today. Now to the coast, where the biggest access story of the year just happened. Bob Hall Pier on North Padre Island near Corpus Christi reopened on February 24, 2026, after being destroyed by Hurricane Hannah back in 2020. This wasn't a quick patch job. The pier had been closed for nearly 6 years. FEMA denied disaster funding for the rebuild, so Nueces County had to secure the money on its own, more than $28.5 million in total. What they built is a 1,240-foot pier, fully ADA accessible, with wider walkways than the original. At the reopening, Nueces County Commissioner Brent Chesney described the turnout. "I've never seen a crowd of this size and this excited for any event, any ribbon cutting, any groundbreaking I've been in Corpus Christi, and I've been doing this a long time." TPWD's Brian Bartram, who covers the Corpus Christi Bay ecosystem for coastal fisheries, laid out what anglers can expect off this pier through the summer. In late winter and early spring, black drum in the 35 to 40-inch range were common near the Gulf piers. Fish that are drawing from the upper Laguna Madre, the hypersaline bay system just south of here, that's one of the most productive black drum nurseries on the Texas coast. Heading into summer, Bartram said the surf will start to hold good numbers of spotted sea trout, and the recommended approach is live shrimp under a popping cork, fished at night under the pier lights. So for direct public access to sea trout and black drum off the Texas coast, Bob Hall Pier is now one of the best options on the water, and it's brand new. If you want to extend the session, Packery Channel, the tidal pass just north of the pier, is worth fishing as well. It moves water between the Laguna Madre and the Gulf and consistently holds slot redfish and flounder alongside the pier species. One thing worth knowing if you're planning a trip: the pier was free to the public for its first 90 days after reopening. That free period ended around May 24th, after which standard pier fees returned. Bob Hall isn't the only coastal access point worth fishing right now. The jetties at Galveston, Port Aransas, South Padre Island, Sabine, and Packery Channel all remain solid public access for summer species: speckled trout, slot redfish, sheepshead, and bull reds, especially on the incoming tide. Galveston's 61th Street Fishing Pier is another option worth mentioning. It's open 24 hours a day with rod rentals available, and it produces a wide range of species: speckled trout, redfish, black drum, gaff top, and even sharks, including blacktip, bull, and hammerhead. Current Gulf Coast reports point to strong summer activity overall: speckled trout in the surf on live croaker, tarpon and sharks working the gaps between jetties, slot, and oversized redfish along the jetty rocks, and cobia, tripletail, and kingfish showing up around the near-shore structure. If you're targeting redfish or speckled trout anywhere on the Texas coast this summer, keep the current regulations in mind. Speckled trout limits tightened statewide in March of 2025, dropping to a 3-fish daily limit within a 15 to 20-inch slot, with one oversized fish over 30 inches allowed per day with a tag. Not every angler has time to drive to Ivie or the coast, and TPWD has built a program specifically for that. It's called Neighborhood Fishin', and it covers 18 lakes in urban and suburban areas around the state. 5 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 4 around Houston, 2 each in Austin and San Antonio, and 1 each in Amarillo, College Station, San Angelo, Waco, and Wichita Falls. These lakes get restocked with catfish roughly every 2 weeks from mid-April through October, with a pause in August because of the heat. As of this season, that stocking schedule resumed on April 10th, 2026, and is running on that 2-week cycle right now. TPWD's Marcos de Jesus, who oversees the East Texas region for inland fisheries, explained the purpose of the program. Neighborhood fishin' lakes are conveniently located in urban and suburban areas to provide a great fishing experience where most Texas residents live. Catfish are fun and easy to catch for anglers of all ages and experience levels. It's pole and line only, with a daily bag limit of 5 fish combining all species, and 1 black bass at 14 inches or larger. If you want a guaranteed close-to-home shot at fresh-stocked catfish, this program is built for exactly that. And if you want to fish completely free, mark your calendar for June 6th. That's Free Fishing Day in Texas, when no license is required anywhere in the state. So here's where that leaves things heading deeper into summer. On the freshwater side, the post-spawn pattern is setting in on lakes like Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn. Largemouth pushing out to brush piles, creek channel swings, and timber in 6 to 15 feet of water, with early morning topwater bites still producing. On the coast, the pattern is shifting toward the surf and the jetties as water temperatures climb. Trout, redfish, and black drum holding around structure, with low light and nighttime fishing becoming more productive as the heat sets in. One thing to watch: South Texas has been dealing with serious drought conditions, and water levels at supply reservoirs near Corpus Christi have dropped sharply. That's primarily a water supply issue, but it's also worth keeping in mind if you're planning trips to boat ramps in that region this summer. So to bring this back to where we started, these are the access points in Texas right now actually producing big fish. backed by real numbers. Ivie remains the single best public reservoir in the state for trophy largemouth, with 63 legacy class bass since 2020 and 5 more added just this season. Built on Florida strain genetics and a deep shad forage base, Bob Hall Pier is a brand new, fully rebuilt access point on the coast, already producing black drum and sea trout with Packery Channel right next door. And if you don't have time for either, the neighborhood fishing program puts freshly stocked catfish within reach of most of the state's major cities. Whichever one you choose, the data is clear. This is a strong year to be fishing public water in Texas. Get out there and use it.